So I want to get your guys' thoughts on a situation. So me and Ellen have lived in this house for about 7 months now. And before, we rented an apartment and we only had really the one neighbour above us. We did have someone next to us, but we couldn't hear any noise from them. But occasionally the guy that lived above us would run up and down the stairs a couple of times in the morning as if like he'd forgotten something for work all the time. He was a nice enough guy, but I sometimes thought, fucking hell, is there an elephant living up there because of all the treading around? And sometimes he'd be a night owl and I could hear him like having a bath late. And to be honest, it sounded like he was having a bit of a little tuggy in the bath because there's lots of splashing going on. And I could hear a few noises. So sometimes I was like, what is he actually doing up there? And there was one time that I messaged him because I had his number. And he had some people around and it was quite late. I think it was gone 11 p.m. And I didn't know what they were doing. And the person he had round, I won't go into it, it doesn't matter, but we didn't really like them. We knew of them at the time. And so it was annoying us more so because we could hear them all laughing and like proper thumping on the floor. I was like, what the fuck is that? It was really pissing me off. Turns out they were playing Just Dance on the Wii or probably on the Switch. But I was probably quite blunt. I think in the text I said, mate, it's gone 11, what are you doing? It's driving me nuts. And he said it was Just Dance, and then they stopped and probably went, oh, buzzkills. But, I get what it's like when you need your sleep. So here's the situation. Probably about 2 and a bit months ago, maybe 3 months ago, we got a noise complaint from our neighbour next door who's semi-detached to us. And he came knocking at the door at night. It'd gone 10. And I'd not thought that we were being noisy or really thought much about it because Ellen was basically cutting some flooring, some laminate flooring to edge it around like the door where it has to be really precise. And she'd been doing it in the evening, and Ellen and myself really, we're both night owls. And so we tend to be more active in the evening. But it's not like she was using like a drill or an electric saw. So she was just But I guess it was carrying through because I went to the door thinking, who the fuck's knocking? It's gone 10 because Amazon can come quite late. But I thought that's quite late. And then I saw my next door neighbour looking very unhappy in a dressing gown. And he said, it's past 10 on a Sunday. What are you doing? What is... Because he could tell it wasn't me doing it. It was like, what is she even doing up there? I was like, she's just sort of cutting some flooring. But yeah, I'll get her to stop. Sorry, we didn't know you could hear it. Because literally, we don't hear anything coming through the wall at all. So I just figured, probably not going to hear it. And I'd not really thought of it. And Ellen definitely hadn't either. So I said, Ellen, got to stop that. Because he has to be up early for work. I think he gets up at like 5, which is obviously very early. So he needs his sleep. Goes to bed a lot earlier than us. I tend to go to bed about 11:30 to 12, which is later than I should, admittedly. But I can get about 7 or just over 7 hours of sleep from doing that. And anyway, nothing since then. Introduced our dog to the neighbour, been a bit friendly, chatting here and there. Overall, I don't really want much from a neighbour. I want to know they're not going to be a problem for me and to be left to myself. That's the way I am. It's not like I want them coming around for barbecues or any of that shit. But last night, or not last night, sorry, it's a couple of days ago, I was playing Ghost of Yotei on the PS5, which, by the way, is amazing. If you played the first one, Ghost of Toshima, very, very good game. But I was playing it, having quite a good time. I was on sort of a boss battle, so I was very intensely focused on my game. Ellen was using a carpet cleaning Hoover by Shark. And, it's not the quietest thing in the world, but I didn't really think much of it because, like, hoovering. And again, when we used to rent, our neighbour would hoover at night sometimes, and you could barely hear it, just a slight hum. But the doorbell goes and it's 10 past 10, and I have this sort of sinking feeling. I'm like, it's going to be next door neighbour again, isn't it? I checked my phone because the first time I'd then sent him a couple of days later and said, look, I'm sorry about the other day. Didn't know we were being loud. Don't want to upset you. Here's my number. If there's any sort of noise or issue again, rather than feel like you've got to come round in your underwear or whatever, just drop me a message and, we can make sure we're not bothering you. And he was like, oh, it's one-off, like, don't think that you can't walk around your house. I'm like, oh, I appreciate that. So I'd given him a number, but my phone goes on mute after 10. So I'd not seen he tried to call me 3 times within 1 minute. So it's clearly pissing him off. And he'd text me at like just before 10, but my phone, I never have it on loud. It just vibrates, and I was playing a game. I didn't hear it. But I'm walking towards the door, checking my phone, going, oh, I've got fucking 3 missed calls. So it's obviously him at the door again. And he's text saying, mate, what is that noise? That's how I read it anyway. What is that noise? It's a Hoover, basically. A little noisier, I'd argue, than a regular Hoover. Anyway, I get to the front door. He's there. He looks really pissed off. Again, he's in his robe. What do you call it? Dressing gown. He's in his dressing gown. And he's not trying to hide that he's fucked off. And he says, it's fucking past 10 on a Sunday. I've been in bed for 40 minutes. I've got to be up tomorrow. I'm like, sorry. Like, again, it's not really me anyway. I'm just fucking playing my game. Ellen's decided that this is the time of night to do this. Because the rabbit's rugs, basically, it was covered in shit. And while we've been like cleaning it up with baby wipes and sponging it, it's left like orangey, yellowy marks. So Ellen was doing that, but it takes a little while. She'd been doing it for about half an hour, and she had done some earlier in the day as well, but we'd been out, we had dinner late. Like, we just do quite a lot. And in the evening, with all the pets we have, like, sometimes that's the best time to get something done, because we've had to like walk him. And like I say, I'd gone to a dinosaur park with my sister. So anyway, I'm sorry, like, I don't think Ellen knew that would be loud, because I didn't say to him, but we don't hear anything from your house at all. So like, it's a Hoover. I didn't really think it'd be that loud, and maybe it isn't that loud, I'm not sure. But he walked off in a real mood. Like, he didn't acknowledge the fact I'd said sorry, just stormed off, sort of. I think he might have shook his head a bit. I was thinking, oh, that's a bit shit, isn't it, to have a neighbour pissed off at you? But I also felt it was a bit rude, because while like he's in the right if he's being kept up at night because he's got to be up early. I mean, he's up earlier than most people are, so arguably I don't think 10's that late. But if it's stopping him sleeping, he's got every right to tell us, look. And he had tried to call me, so he probably thought I was ignoring him or something. But the way he was, it just kind of got my back up a bit, because I felt like we've been friendly and you're acting like this now. And obviously we're going to stop. And it's a Hoover. It's not like a sound that it's not like we're having a rave and a party and loads of people making noise. We're not trying to piss you off. I guess he's one of those people that really need to sleep. I don't know. But I said to Ellen, you got to stop that now. You have to do the rest tomorrow. And she was like, oh, really? Like, it's just a freaking Hoover. So I don't know. I do think we're in the wrong. But I think, again, it's all about being assertive. And that was a little bit aggressive. He could have said, look, I'm really tired and I can really hear that. You might not think I can hear that, but I can. So can we agree a time that you don't do this beyond? But the key point for me was, like I said, we've been here 7 months now, and it's not like we do this ever. Like, we're just using a carpet cleaner once at night, and it's like the end of the world. But I don't want any more issues. Ellen had a bit of a different view. She's a bit like, I don't give a fuck. Like, we're not breaking any laws here. I think the council says you can use, domestic appliances up until 11 p.m. So we could probably say that we're not going to stop, raise it with the council or the police. But obviously I don't want to have that kind of issue. But it's like, he's a chain smoker. He smokes a lot. And whenever we're in the garden, it just is constant, and it annoys me. But I'm not the kind of person that would knock at someone's door and say, please don't smoke in your own garden because it's bothering me. You just tolerate certain things, don't you? So the next time I see him, I'm not going to say sorry again. I'm not going to act all matey. Like, fuck it. We're just neighbours. We just happen to live next door. We don't have to be friends. I also, like I say, I don't want any kind of problems. So just be civil. But it's a bit silly, isn't it, really, that you can't be in your own house cleaning when you want to clean. It's nuts. But unfortunately, it's the case for a lot of people. Like, we could be a lot worse off. I know that, by the way. Like I say, we don't hear any noise from them. The only thing is the smoking, and that's like not the end of the world by any means. But to think you can buy a house that you're happy with, and all it takes is one person to wreck it. And I'm not saying that's the case here, but if we had someone else move in, because they rent next door, so he might move at some point, but if you get someone else in and they've got like really crazy children that just scream in the middle of the night, like, what are you meant to do? So yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'd be interested to hear if you guys have had any issues with neighbours. Again, I think it's quite a small problem. But yeah, hopefully that's the last of it. I said to Ellen, from now on, just like 8 p.m.'s got to be our cut-off point for anything like that. And if there's another reason he finds to have a moan, then I don't think it's our issue. I think he must be very, very sound sensitive. But yeah, cheers guys. See you later.